Welcome to the African Liberation Station. It's always good to be here. Welcome to another live. I know, as always, it's been a moment, but I give thanks to be here, and I give thanks to the ancestors and to the universe, for always giving us this opportunity to forward into the moment to reason with our brethren and our sisters. Greetings, Nana and Melissa, so far as in the house. Those who are forwarding in, I give you greetings and give thanks for being here. Always like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We appreciate of the fact that you keep sharing these videos with others. So it is always a beautiful thing when we share these things. Yes, so what we are going to talk about is the new reality that we are seeing right now, a total new reality for those who are spiritually awake and aware of what is going on. When you look at things, you look at the world in which you live, the so-called three-dimensional world that you are living in. What you are seeing is a total shift. Seeing is a total shift that is happening. The shift has happened, and you are seeing the effects of the shift, I should say. Because right now, when you are seeing individual, right, the things that they are doing, these that so-called was in charge of the system and those who the system favors, you see what they are doing right now. They are trying to latch on to everything that we are doing because they see that we are moving away from them. We are no longer interested to be in their space. So they are fighting to change that narrative. Are they realizing that they are totally losing power? They are losing grip on the so-called world and the society that they think that they had this all on forever. But they're seeing it that is slipping out of their hands, so to speak. Because when you look at us as a people, for instance, a lot of our brothers and sisters, what they are doing now, you will see them on Instagram, YouTube, you will see them on all these different platforms, right? That they are addressing the problem. They are addressing all of the things that we has gone through as a people and as a nation. They are addressing these things, which is great. And the great thing about it is this new reality is that it is the youths, the young ones today are recognizing what has been done and realizing that there must be a change in attitude, a change in environment, a change in thinking. You will realize that most young people today want nothing to do with the whole reality, which is consisting of Christianity, the political world, and all of these different things that we thought that was something to a lot of us. We thought that these things were something. We thought that a lot of us thought that religion was going to change our reality. But we realized that that is never going to be the case, right? And so now, when most of us get onto our spiritual journey, what we are helping our brothers and sisters to see that is spirituality, it is going to make the difference. You see what I'm saying? Is that is the important thing, is that one to see where the change is coming from. You see, and that is the bottom line. The change is coming from within, not outside, as they usually tell us that these changes is coming from outside. We should look for help from outside. We realize that is not the case, and it's not going to be the case. The case is that we are going deeper and deeper within ourselves, and we are looking at the world in a whole different space and time, right? The power that is within us is coming forward. Now, the fact is that we are moving away from the emotionalism that we were suffering from, the delusion of inclusion of the system that we didn't we were not connecting, and no matter what we did in the old world or in the old reality, we were trying, many of us was trying to be included in the system. And no matter what our people did, they were not included in the system. The system did not wanted us. We were rejected, so to speak. No matter what, we went to university, we get degrees, we do all of these different things and think that we were going to be accepted in the system. Now we move away from the system because one of the realities, when I was young, I can remember no one wanted to talk about, for instance, Africa, because everything you learn about the motherland or the continent, it was not good things. Everything we learned was negative. And the fact is now that many of us, instead of thinking, I want to go to Europe, I want to go to Asia, I want to go to all these places, our thinking is not in that space anymore. Now you talk to a lot of us, and you will see many are saying that I want to go to Africa. I have this drive to go to the continent because it is just something within me that's saying to me, I need to go to the continent. I need to go to the motherland. I need to be connected to the motherland. It is not happening by chance, or it's not happening by accident. It is happening because it is what needs to take place. That's why I said there is a shift. The shift in attitude, the shift in thinking, all of these things in connection. We were disconnected in so many ways. And that is what the system is fighting against. It is because the system is realizing that it is losing grip on the most important people that walk on this planet. The most important people that walk on this planet, it is you and me, the gods and the goddesses who they remove you from your reality. They remove you from yourself and put you into a space that you did not belong. And that is why that space was so confusing for most of us. For a lot of us, the educational system did not make any sense, especially because we were kidnapped from the reality that we were living in and put into a whole different reality that did not make any sense to us. And many of us is still not even comprehending all these things till today. But now, those of us, like I said, who come into awareness to the point where we see everything that they tell us. We know the lies, we know the propaganda, we know the propaganda machines that they use to confuse us. So we live in constant conflict within ourselves. You see what I'm saying is they use the religion to do that. They use the imagery to do that. They use the television to do that, to make sure that they are keeping us in a place that we don't need to be, or a place that we don't want to be, or where we don't belong. That is the reality. So the thing is now that we know that, we stopped praying. We stopped doing all these things that they expected us to do. We stopped thinking about the so-called Jesus coming to rescue us, and then we realized that we're gonna have to rescue ourselves from all these lies and from the discrimination and everything that is placed upon us. Because the fact is that when they use imaging on us, for instance, this God or this Jesus image and angel image, that everything is white and all of these different things, now we remove that from ourselves. It's a process though. And the process that is taking place is that we realize that we have to go through a healing process. And many of us is on our journey. We are on our way because we realize it's self-healing. Is that the system is not going to do anything to change our reality, right? So we decide to take our chart our own course. So that is the new reality. We are charting our own course. We are coming into our God self, which they are always afraid of. So, as I often say, the old world or the old system, they get everyone to be on the same side. So, who is it that they are fighting against? They are fighting against the gods and the goddesses. They are fighting against these ones because they know the moment that we come into our natural self, they are in trouble. And so now they, because it's a new reality, they know they are in trouble. So you will come on YouTube and you will see, white women trying to give credit to black women, and you will see that they are saying all these different things, what they have done to the Africans, and all these different things that are happening now. Why all of a sudden they are doing these things? Have you really ever sit down and thought about it? Have you ever really see the seriousness of all of this? And the seriousness of all of it really is the fact that we as a people, we understand, we overstand what is taking place. We can't be lied to anymore. That is the fact. So they realize that the train has left the station and it is left without them. So they are scrambling. The fact is that they used to think, okay, white woman, white black man, or black vice versa. In those reality that we used to live, where if they see a black man with a white woman, they had a problem. But you come to the point where they want interracial marriages to have children, interracial children. All of a sudden, they are promoting these things on television. And we don't ask ourselves why. Only those of us who come to know the truth realize what they are doing. They are trying to save themselves within us. They are trying to save themselves within you. And you think that it is love. You see, I give you a thing that where we have to realize this new reality that we are in is that, for instance, we used to think of the way that they set up the system. Think about this and think about it very carefully because it's true. Love, as we know it, the strongest vibration, one of the strongest vibration in the universe, right? When they tell you that you are in love with someone, the love that they preach or they design for you is nothing but emotionalism. And when I tell you that it is emotionalism, think about what I'm saying to you and see how much sense does it really make. If you are so-called in love with someone and the person decide they want to part company with you, why is it that many times one want to destroy themselves, one want to kill themselves, one get in depression? Is that a good thing? No. So it's not love that you're in. You're in an emotional state of mind. That's where they put you because it's a business. And they sell things around those things that they create. Because if you kill yourself, it's a business because you're going to have to have a funeral. If you're in depression, you're going to have to go see a psychologist. You see, are you going to get some psychiatric evaluation? These are the things that you have to realize. Love does not carry those emotions and feelings. It doesn't. They have deceived you. They have deceived us. That's why I said you have to live in the new reality. The new reality is where we recognize who we are, that we are gods. And the gods don't get into emotionalism. You don't get into that space because you recognize what is what. For instance, if we, I want to show you where true love come in, that we are truly the gods and the goddesses of this planet that we are dwelling on. If we weren't, they all would be gone already. And they know that. So for them, they had to get us into a state of emotionalism to keep us there, where they are preserved. Otherwise, they wouldn't be around today. You see, because when we, for instance, if we decide that they need to be removed, we wouldn't be thinking about it or worrying about it. We would do what we need to do. So they get us into the state where we're always, oh, you know, you feel sorry for ones, you always make an excuse for them. Now, when you come into the place of knowing, you come to the full realization, you're not feeling these emotions that they put you in. You realize that truth is truth. That's just as you realize, the fact is that here we are in this state of mind where we realize there is no good and there is no bad. In the sense where you have negative and you have positive, you have to be the one who balance them. That's what it is. You balance everything, put everything into its proper perspective and into its proper place. They have us thinking and dealing in all different ways. And now we catch up with that. We realize that yes, this is where they have us. Well, for instance, everything that they teach, they used to teach us, they teach us about a ship. We are always traveling on a ship. You have a relation with someone, they say it's a relationship, a partnership, and all these things is ship. And most of us, we never even ask ourselves the question, why is it that we're always on a ship? You see, your foot is never on steady ground. But we come to know, that's why I said we're living a new reality. We come to know that they have us under maritime laws, basically where your feet does not touch the ground. They are in full control of you because you're always on water. You see, they had that kind of control over us. That is the space and the place where we find ourselves that the system had us. And so now that we come to know the truth, we remove ourselves from that space. And the fact that we remove ourselves from that space, now we can see what is truly taking place. So once you learn the truth, you cannot unlearn the truth. That's the difference. You see. So for me, I know the world that I'm living in. I know what is taking place. And I don't fool myself. And you still have some of our people running around saying we are the same. We are not the same. It does not make any sense. We don't need to try to prove that anymore because we recognize who we are. Even they themselves, they're scientists and all of them, they know that we are the real deal. You see, even when they go to do their so-called studies, for instance, on DNA and all these different things, it has proven time and time again that we are the real deal. And there's nothing they can do about it. So it's not have to be our people going out there and studying these things and coming. No, they themselves is proving who we are. What side are you going to be on? Are you still going to keep in the old reality? Are you going to live the new reality? You have to come into that space to realize that I no longer want to live in this 3D dimension because there's many, many other dimensions. You see what I'm saying is, but they have us locked into this prison that we only can see just here. Or is either that, or is either someone coming out of the sky to rescue us. And those of us who are awake and aware of what's going on, we know that there is no one coming out of any sky to rescue us. If there is rescuers that are coming to us, it's your ancestors. It's no Jesus. It's none of those things. These are the things that we come to know. We come to know that we are spiritual people. And many times they see and they come into our space. You see them today still raiding the tombs of our ancestors because they don't have no tombs of their own to go and raid because there's nothing about them. And these are the things that we as a people need to understand and understand that there is nothing that these so-called European have to go dig up to go find about themselves. They already know about themselves. As I always say, is three things about them. Whether they Chinese, whatever you want to call them, or whatever nation they come from, is three things about them: death, domination, and destruction. There is nothing more. So there is nothing that they need to find. So when they go dig up our ancestors, whether in Egypt or anywhere on the continent, wherever they want to call it, because they like to separate us. You see, they talk about the Middle East, they talk about this and that and the other. But the reality is, we know there is no Middle East. There's none of those things. Those lands were stolen and they give it a different name. This place that they call Egypt is all Africa. We don't need to go around, beat around the bush. These are the facts. We come to know the truth about these things. So they can't hide anything anymore. You see what I'm saying? So this is where our people need to understand and overstand what is going on and lock yourself into this new reality, into the new mindset. That's why I said to my people, meditate, do your own research. Listen to the inner person, the inner voice that is speaking with you, because it's your higher self leading you into the path. You see what I'm saying? They used to tell us, oh, talk to yourself, but don't answer yourself. Because if you do, that means you're crazy. But we come to the new reality and we know that we have to talk to ourselves and we have to answer ourselves. Because when we are reasoning with self, we must answer self. You see? So, yes, our journey, our spiritual journey, open up our eye that we can see, our eye of understanding, of overstanding, that we can truly see what is taking place. We can truly see. Now, when those of us who are awake, we look at our people and we realize that most of them are in a deplorable state. It is sad when we see that, but we also know it is the reality. But we also know that this is where they choose to stay. This is a choice. They have made their own choice just as you make the choice to be in a state of awakening, to question the so called reality that you thought you were living in, come to know that you were totally living in a total matrix. That's where you were living. So now you come to this place where you out of this so-called matrix. So that is the place that you have to realize that it takes effort. It takes doing. In order for your reality to change, you must do something. You can't just sit in a place and think, oh, this is it. You must put the work in. That's why I said, in order for you to become awake, you have to be a seeker, a knower, and a doer. That's who you have to be. So you seek, you come to know, and then you do. You change your way of thinking, you change your way of living, you change your way of eating. And don't tell me, because the fact is that, as I said, people will try to make the mistake to tell you it doesn't matter what you eat. It does matter. Don't let anyone fool you. Don't let anyone deceive you. People will tell you these things. But when you start to change the way of eating, it changes your way of thinking. That is a fact, not a fiction. For instance, if you have an expensive sport car, go and put the lowest grade gasoline in it and see what happened to that sport car. Because is usually on a good sport car, what they call so-called good. On the tank, it always tell you when you go to open that area where you put the gasoline in the car, it always tell you the highest octane, which is usually 93 octane. It usually tells you that. Am I lying? Am I telling the truth? So if you go and you put 87, which is the lowest octane in that car, what is going to happen to it? If you don't think that doesn't work, what I'm saying to you, a car that takes gasoline, okay, go put some diesel fuel inside that tank and see what happens if it doesn't matter. So it's a foolish ideology for one to tell you it doesn't matter what you eat or drink. It does matter, very, very much so. And these are the things that, as I said, the new reality is pointing us to into the space and the place where we need to be, where we need to realize this important vessel, this avatar that we are traveling in, we must take care of it. We must make sure that it has the best inside of it to operate at optimum, to keep our minds sharp. We must put optimum, the good, the best of the best that we can find. We should be ready to feed this avatar with that because it's going to keep us sharp, it's going to keep our awareness very high. And that is the reality. That is the reality. So when you move into this new reality, all of these things about yourself will change and you will see the reason why we are saying what we are saying. There's no doubt about it. So when people tell you it doesn't matter, then you just, those people, you don't argue with them, you don't waste time. You just, if they are willing to listen to reason, then you reason with them. If they are not, then you move along. Because the point is not for us to fight with anyone or to try to prove anything to anyone. One have to be open and ready to reason in order for them to grow, in order for them to grow and to glow. Because we are dealing with light, you see. So we are here to shed light, to open up the eye of those of our people that is blind. The fact is that we're not forcing anything. This is not a religion. Okay? So that's what we need to remember. Spirituality is not a religion. So we don't force it on anyone. The thing is, we must live our spirituality. Live our spirituality. It's not about how much about what we say, but are we living what we are saying? That is the reality. We live what we say. So when we live what we say, then one will see and realize. You never see some brothers and sisters and you know their levity is different from most people around them. Just look at them, look at their skin. Look at when they tell you, oh, I'm 50 something years old. You look at them and you think like, nah, those guys can be 50 or that sister can be 50 something years old or 60 something or 70 or even 80 years old a lot of the time. Because when you see people, for instance, that eat a lot of garbage, eat meat, all these different things, you look at them and you can tell immediately what they are consuming. You see it in them. You see it in their skin. You see it in their face. You see what I'm saying? So these are the things that we need to overstand, understand, and to grow in this new reality where we know, just as when we were young, we were afraid of dying. Those are some of the things that we were afraid of. We were afraid of all of these things that we were not supposed to be afraid of. And the reason why we were afraid of them, it is because no one explained them to us. Because those even who call themselves our parents, they don't know about it. That's the sad thing about this reality. These ones did not know how to explain death to you. They did not, because no one explained it to them. So, how could they explain it to us? It is all about fear mongering. So, because they were living in a state of fear, you see what I'm fear of dying. What is dying? There is no dying for us. All it is a state of transition. So we come to know those things. So it's nothing to do with it. Religion creates fear, religion creates faith, religion creates sin. All of them are related. So we come to know the truth about all of these three things: faith, fear. Okay? Because we know what they did, faith, fear, and sin, they all link together. For instance, when they tell you you commit a sin, you are in fear. Okay? You don't want to go to the preacher, the priest, or whatever it is, because it is shameful to go confess your sin, and that you may lose your faith, so to speak, because these are the things that they put on you. So these are the things that were hindering us and keeping us down. These were the spells that they cast upon us as a people to tell us that we are bad people. So we come to recognize these things. When they used to tell us that, oh, the color that we have is bad, it's terrible. And now we come to find the truth that we are pure carbon, melanin, neuromelanin. We come to realize the importance of these things that is being fought against. You see the difference? You are living in a new reality. You don't watch the so-called news anymore, because the so-called news that they were feeding you with was blinding you, was keeping you in the place that they want you to be. So you move yourself away from these things. And these are the place that you, where you see you are now, you are on a higher elevation. You elevate from those low dimensional state, low dimensional thinking, and you elevate to a higher place, that when they start to say these things, you laugh at them and think that these people are fools. Are what exactly are they? It meaning that you are into your God self. You have rise out of that low place that they have you in, so now you can elevate to that point where you laugh at these people. You see what I'm saying? So we know why they do what they do. So when you know, how can they fool you anymore? You see what I'm saying? We see all the traps that they set for us as a people. We see, if you look, for instance, in America, in Europe, where you see young black boys and girls who are aspiring to be runners, basketball players, football players, because they think these things were important. They think these things were important. Get me? And they only pick a certain few. And then they will tell you, sorry you didn't make the cut. But if you look at these things, you could see the tricks that they place in front of you to aspire to something that you were not going to get to, that place that you were aspiring to be. And we know the reason why. Because they use this as a game. They get you to spend your money on these things that is irrelevant, not important, not essential to your growth. They make you run away from nature, and you think that was a good thing. If you talk to most young people, before, I find more of them is being attracted to certain things today, such as farming and things like that, being in nature. Before, you couldn't get young people to be in nature, especially our people. They didn't want that. But now they are realizing that it is important to be connected to nature, because we are nature. These are the facts. These are the new reality that you are coming into. Knowing yourself and loving yourself and accepting yourself. You didn't know that before. You didn't do that. You are aspiring to be something that you couldn't be. A lot of our people are aspiring to be Europeans because to be what they call black is never a good thing. And then you find out you are the most important thing on this planet. Isn't that amazing to know this new reality? We were ashamed of our hair on our head, our beard. Oh, it's too coarse, it's too kinky, it's too nappy. But realizing that it's always telling you where you belong. You come from the universe. That's why it curls. It's a natural antenna. No one else has it. Isn't that a beautiful thing? And that is what I'm saying. We have to change our way of thinking. You come into the new reality, you see from that aspect and from that standpoint. See yourself in this place. Accept the new reality. Once you come to the truth, no one can lie to you anymore. No, it's not going to happen. The truth is a beautiful thing, but it's to know it. At first, when many of us were told the truth, guess what? We didn't want to accept it. It was hard for us to accept it. When you think that all your life you have been lied to, think about that. All your life you have been lied to. See? And now you come to know the truth. And you realize everything from basic school onward. And the reason why they program you from a very early age. Most of us, I can speak for those of us who grew up in the Caribbean and some of these other places and on the continent. What are some of the things that they teach you in school, especially between 5 and 7 years old? Because they know that these things are going to stay with you for your entire existence and you're going to remember them. They teach you some things, what they call nursery rhyme. If you think about it, the ages that they teach those things to you is between 5 and 7. Between 5 and 7, the things that you learn, you don't forget. Because that's when they start to teach you these Jesus stories and all these different things. These are the ages that they know. Listen to me, brothers and sisters, especially if you have children. They know that these things is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. And the things after that, that is a lot of them you don't even remember. But those things that you remember so vividly in your mind is what they taught you at that age. A diggle diggle, the cat and the figgle. They teach you about Humpy Dumpy sat upon a wall. They teach you about Jesus, friend of little children, and all these bullshit. I can repeat them over and over again. They blast you with these things. That's what they push in your mind. That's what they push on you, nursery rhyme. They don't teach their children these things because they know that these things are foolishness. They know that these things are not so, but they give them to us, the negative in your mind. If they were teaching you maths and science and all these different subjects at that age, do you know how brilliant you would be today? Do you know that no one could fool you? But they make sure that you didn't know those things, that the things that they taught you was not going to do you any good. But the wonderful thing is about us, the carbonated, melanated ones, is that those positive things are those truths that are in your DNA at some stage and at some point have to reveal itself to you. The fact that you are a goddess or a god, it must be revealed to you. It's only a matter of time. See, it's only a matter of time. So we know that all of these things that they were pushing on us, we were going to remove ourselves from them and come to the forefront. You know, the funny thing is about life. Take, for instance, the metal goal. Do you know that you have to put gold under a certain temperature, because when you put it in the pot, it will go all the way to the bottom. But you have to put the heat up to a certain degree for the gold to actually come to the top, and the dross will go to the bottom. So the reality is, what were happening to us as a people, in order for us to rise to our higher self, we came under extreme pressure. Extreme pressure. And yet we rise to the top. Look at yourself, and you hold yourself a round of applause, and also your ancestors, because you have rise to the top. When every heart is against you, you have rise to the top. You have risen to your higher self. You are seeing your higher self and the manifestation of who you truly are. The power that is within you, you are seeing it manifesting itself. So never be afraid of the pressures that the system put on you, because the new reality teach you that in this space that you find yourself, you can't go any lower. All you can do is rise. All you can do from here is rise. So that's why I say, no matter what they do, no matter what they say, they cannot change what is happening. No matter what they do or say, remember this. If you don't remember anything from what I say tonight, they cannot change what is taking place. They cannot. They are trying their best to stop it, but it's never going to happen. There's no reversing this one. This is the new reality. And the new reality is, my dear gods and goddesses of the planet, rise to your higher self. Every day you wake up, rise higher and higher. Look deeper and deeper within yourself. And don't let anyone or anything remove you from the space that you find yourself within. It's a new reality. Live it, because you will not go backwards. No, not in this one. You are going to go higher and higher. Trust this. It is what is happening. And the world cannot change any of it. They are trying to. They come with so-called diseases. They come with everything that they can possibly think of to try to change this new reality. They try everything that they can just imagine to change this new reality. But the fact is, it is not going to change. It doesn't go backwards. They know that the ancestors are here. They know that. And they know that they can't do anything about it. They know that everything is moving in our favor, and they can't do anything about it. So even those who look like us, that were the gatekeepers, I feel sorry and sad for them. Because guess what? They have to move out the way. They have to move out of the way. They cannot do anything to change what is happening to you and me and all of those who come to a spiritual awakening, because you are here for a purpose, and your purpose is being revealed to you every day. You start to see yourself, your thinking, your frame of mind, and all of these things are in a space. And sometimes you're thinking, I don't have no friends anymore. You don't need those friends that you thought that you had, because they weren't your true friends. Even though they look like you just needed to move away from them. And that is your new reality, because your new reality says that you are the God and the goddesses, more so the goddesses and the gods, because the sisters come before us, brothers. So, as I said, when our sisters who are recognizing their place and their space, rise to their higher self, then we will see how all of us move into that direction. It's just like the other day, I think someone sent me a video that was on YouTube where you have these white men are saying, "Oh, black women are great women," and this and that and the other. You see, they see the shift, and they are trying to make our sisters feel so-called comfortable. But my sisters, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by any of it. It's a trick because they see where you're going. They see where this new reality is leading to. And they're trying to get you to dishonor the black man or the carbonated, melanated man. They are trying to get you to dishonor him, to not stand behind him. You see, but if you look at them, all the genocide that they have committed and all of the bad deeds that they have done, they stand behind each other. They stand behind each other for all the wicked and evil deeds that white people has done. They stay behind each other. Listen to me carefully. So now that you see that you are rising to your higher and higher self, they want to bring you lower, down to their level again. Don't allow it to happen. Don't let anyone deceive you because that's what they're there for. So it is imperative it is imperative that we don't allow the people who destroyed our families, who destroyed our nations, who destroyed everything that about us that were good, let them do it no more. When they see you, they should see in you that you are in your higher self. And there is nothing that they can do to lower you down to that place anymore. Their baits doesn't work anymore. Nothing that they put out there doesn't work anymore. You see? So because all they can do is use the same old tricks over and over and over again and try to get you into their reality. No, not anymore. So as I said, you will see. Just keep watching. Look how fast the world is changing. Look how fast everything is taking place because you're in a new reality. And their ship is sinking very quickly. And they know that. The parasite cannot live without the host, and they are the parasite. We were hosting the parasites, but we got rid of the parasites. They stopped sucking our blood. So now we need to move into that space. And whoever of those of our people who wants to stay in that place and have them feed on them, then we allow that to take place because it's nothing we can do for them. You have to want to come out of that space and that place in order to be in the place that you become the God that you are and the goddess that you truly are. Walk away from the system. Don't be afraid. Fear is not the answer. Fear is never good. Fear is destructive. That's why they teach you fear. Don't teach your children fear. If you have a child, don't teach it fear because fear is not good. No. Remove any religious way of thinking from your mental. Remove it. It is damaging, it is destructive. So teach your child your ancestral ways of living. Remove them from the system totally. That's what you have to do. They come at you, we stick together and we support one another. We have to stop saying, oh, black people don't do, no, we're not black people. We're carbonated people. We're carbonated, melanated people. That's what we are. And that's what the world didn't want us to know, that they were benefiting from us in every way and every direction that you can imagine. They were benefiting from us. So it's time to shut it down. Yes, it is the time. But I give thanks, my brothers and sisters, for all of you who are here tonight. You know, I see brothers and sisters that I haven't seen in a little while. Ken Rise in the house. I also see, Apple Cider also in the house. Johnson's in the house. So Edwards in the house. So I see a lot of brothers and sisters in the house tonight. I give thanks for all of you. If I don't shout out your name personally, don't want to mess up your name, guys. It's always good to be here vibing with you all. Um, I come forward here when I have some downloads and some messages to give to my brothers and sisters. I'm not always on YouTube all the time, but my thing is that I am always out and about, and I'm reasoning with brothers and sisters wherever I am, and that is how I do it. I don't really necessarily sit and go on YouTube every day, but when I get a chance, I love to reason with my brothers and sisters. You guys have been very uplifting, and I give thanks for that. And I always say, may the universe, the ancestors, guide all of you guys and look after you and give you the strength that you need. Um, in this time that we are, to make sure that you grow in your spiritual journey. Make sure you always remember that you are living in a new reality. And as I said, the key to all of this is that I am going to repeat it again. There is some keys that will open every door for you that you step in front of. And the number one thing is seeking. That's the number one key. Seek, know, and do. Those are three keys to open every door that you can imagine in life. You also have to remember that the other three key is knowing yourself, loving yourself, and accepting yourself. So there's six keys. And once you have those six keys, you can unlock every door that you can possibly think of. So always remember that. You must write these keys down. You must think about these keys. You must always have them on you. And these keys are going to always make sure whatever door you stand in front of and you put them inside there, one of those keys will open that door. Always remember that. So I bid you greetings, and wherever everyone is, I know some places we are on different time frame, so to speak, although time is an illusion, but we are in different space. Some is where you are is afternoon, night, evening, or morning. But I say to you, ancestral power, guidance, and protection, and I know that the universe will always turn in your favor, but you need also to know. And I bid that all your powers will return to you in your goddesses and your godship. Your power will return to you to the full extent possible, that you may do what is necessary to be done to totally liberate and free yourself from this evil that we were dealing with for a very long time. And so, yes, I say one love, as Marcus Garvey would say. Take care, my brothers and sisters, until we meet again. It's always good to see and reason with all of you.